Hello reception, today we're going to be looking at the story. What was that story that we read yesterday? Can you help me? What was it called? Sweet Potato, that's it, Sweet Potato. And it was by the author, who was the author? Sue Hendra, that's it. So today, what we're going to be focusing on is recalling the story. So that means remembering what happened in the story that we read yesterday. Now, with me, I've got my little buddy here. He's called Pal. Can you say hello to Pal? And he's going to be my talk partner today. So before we get started, can you go and find your own talk partner? That can be a teddy, or it could be someone from your family who's going to be helping you with your guided reading today. So, we are going to use our hands to help us to recall and retell the story. Can you hold your hand up just like me? Okay, so the first thing that we're going to be looking at today is the story setting. Now that means where the story took place, where it happened. So we're going to use our talk partner Teddy, I'm going to use Pal here, and we're going to tell our talk partner where the story was set. So it's my turn now. I think the story was set at the seaside. The story Sweet Potato all happened at the seaside. Do you agree with me? Tell your talk partner Teddy where you think the story was set. Can you hold your hand up again for me? We know where the story was set. Where was the story set? It wasn't the seaside, was it? Where was it? It was the supermarket, of course. Well done if you got that right. It was the supermarket. Now, we're going to be looking at who the characters were in the story. So it's my turn. I'm going to tell my talk partner Teddy who the characters were in the story. I think the characters were Sweet Potato, a bunny rabbit, and a teddy bear. Do you agree with me? Tell your talk partner Teddy who the characters were in the story of Sweet Potato. Hold your hand up again for me now. So, we remember that the story setting was a supermarket. The story characters were Sweet Potato, the evil pea, and the veggies. Now, we're going to try and remember what happened at the beginning of the story. Can you remember what happened at the beginning of the story? Have a little think, tell your talk partner Teddy, and then we're going to read the story again to see if your predictions were right. Let's see if you can recall what the beginning of the story was. So we're going to read on now. Some vegetables are frozen for a very good reason. Don't believe me? Then keep reading. It was night time in the supermarket and all was quiet. But, crash, bang, something had escaped from the freezer. Something small and round and green. Something looking for trouble. Big trouble. Did you remember correctly? Do you remember it was in the supermarket and something had escaped from the freezer? Help, help, cried Carrot. I'm stuck to the conveyor belt. Ah, cried Broccoli. Someone's drawn on my face. Cried Cucumber. Who was doing this? And was there anyone that could help these vegetables in distress? Who could help them? What character was it? It was Sweet Potato, to the rescue! He used his super speed. He used his super strength. He used a flannel on some soapy water. I know who's behind this, said Sweet Potato. There's what was it? A pea on the loose. Oh no, not a pea, everyone gasped. Yes, a pea, and I'm out of the freezer now and I'm never going back. And the evil pea ran off to commit more terrible crimes. Time for a dip, little veggies. That's enough, shouted Sweet Potato. He leapt towards the pea, but the pea popped out of his hands and vanished into thin air. Sweet Potato set out on a super search. He crept through the cakes, checked the cheese, and snuck up on the beans. Then something caught his eye. Now, I wonder if you can remember what happened next. We know where the story was set. We know who the characters were. We know what happened at the beginning of the story, that an evil pea escaped from the freezer. But what was the problem that happened next? What happened in the story that was a problem? Tell your talk partner, Teddy, what happened next. Did you tell your talk partner, Teddy, what you think the problem was in the story? I told mine. So, I think the problem that happened in the story was that Sweet Potato got stuck in the freezer and he couldn't escape. Do you think that my prediction is correct? Let's see what we can recall and let's read on from the story now. The game's up, yelled Sweet Potato. Kapow! But the pea bounced out of reach and onto a trolley. Sweet Potato was just about to stop him with his super strength when the trolley crashed and he was thrown down into the icy depths of the freezer. Was this the end for Sweet Potato? Do you think it was the end for him? Let's see. Not quite, but the pea was off his trolley and lying in wait. You're finished, Sweet Potato, he shrieked. But Sweet Potato summoned up all his strength and ran for it. The pea nearly had him at the beans and closed in on him at the cheese. He had him cornered at the cakes. So much for Sweet Potato, screeched the pea. You're about to be mashed potato. Surely this was the end for Sweet Potato. So, we know where the story was set, we know who the characters were, we know what happened at the beginning of the story, we know what the problem was, that Sweet Potato got stuck in the freezer, but how was the problem resolved? So Evil Pea was a bit of a problem as well, wasn't it? It wasn't just that Sweet Potato was stuck in the freezer, Evil Pea was becoming a problem. So how did Sweet Potato resolve that problem? Try and remember. I think that Sweet Potato resolved the problem by capturing the evil pea. Do you agree with me? Let's read on and see if your predictions were correct as well. Not today, my friend, said Sweet Potato. Gotcha! Said the pea. Oh yes, said Sweet Potato. I set my trap and you fell for it. Or should that be in it? And he grinned a super grin. Sweet Potato had saved the day. Take him away, he said. And the pea was marched back to the freezer where he belonged. This jelly tastes of pea, said Broccoli, and everybody laughed and cheered. So remember, folks, some vegetables are frozen for a very good reason. Maybe you'd better go back and check your freezer, just in case there's an escapee in your house. Thank you for helping me retell the story and recall what happened in it today. If you want to, you can do an extension activity of downloading the app Chatter Kids. You can either download it on your tablet or on a phone, but make sure that you get your grown-ups' permission to do that. It's a free app, and you can use your vegetables and fruit that you have in the house and make them talk. It's really, really cool, and maybe you could try retelling the story of Sweet Potato by using that app.